Oh, hello. Hello, lads and ladies. Welcome back for another League One Live. For the fourth time in 10 days, we've got a League One Live podcast for you. So strap yourself in. 8 games amongst us tonight. So plenty of goals, plenty of action. Now, we did have some casualties due to the weather yesterday. Port Vale against Barnsley was postponed. Rotherham United actually got their best result in quite a while. The game was postponed, so they didn't have to play, and their 6-game losing streak was paused. Stevenage's game against Leyton Orient was postponed, but Matt Farley will still be finding the positives from that postponement, thinking, well, they've got the best groundman team in the league, and they're still in League One, and somehow they're still on the same points, and he's loving life. And then that was pretty much it for Doncaster Rovers against Luton also got postponed, but we had 8 games. We had 6 at 3 o'clock and 2 at 12 o'clock. Now, because of the busy period, because of obviously the intense period, we've decided tonight to only do the 3 o'clock kickoffs. 6 of them, we're going to skip the 12 o'clocks because it was quite dull. It was dull as dishwater. Bolton drew 0-0. We don't want to talk about that. And then there was another game.
Hello. Hello.
How do you keep doing it? What's happening? What is happening, right? You know, sometimes you just think to yourself, I'm not made to be on this earth. Fleetwood getting relegated from the league. Since I've been doing these shows with you, Fleetwood have just kind of gone like that and crumbled down the leagues, and we're not going anywhere soon. And Lincoln have suddenly become we've had a playoff chasing season. We've had a top 2 chasing season. We've had a playoff final. We've had near runs in the cup. And now we're having this, right? When are you going to go back to being what you are, mate? And that's like 11th. And
next season. Next season, we'll go back to being 11th. In the championship.
Yeah.
Come on. Yeah, no.
Yeah. Tom's been keeping your seat warm, mate.
Well, you know, it's awfully kind of him, isn't it? But yeah, no, mate, honestly, what a time to be a Lincoln City fan. Like, and Nappers, I know you feel it because you're a big imp as well. I mean,
mate, I watched the game yesterday.
I know the video that you sent me. Was it when Rico? Was it when 10 scored, or was it Rico?
It was the well, I took a video. Bear in mind, at 1-0 down, I might have said a cuss word, and my mum went quiet. And when it went to 1-0, I went, get in. She went, I thought Fleetwood were postponed. I went, it's Lincoln. She goes, rolled her eyes. Anyway, they scored again about 10 minutes later. I was like, get in. Then they scored at 3-1. I'm like, oh. So I'm sending you and Sue a video. Anyway, I have to go out at half time. Me mum goes, couldn't just send me the login for the game, could you? I want to watch it. So she's been influenced as well.
It was just massive, mate. It was absolutely massive. Yeah, no, any weekend when you hit Peterborough for 5, I'm waiting because look at the time, Ben. Look at the time. What time is it?
5 past Posh.
5 past Posh again.
I tell you what, Jake, I'd hate to be a Posh fan, wouldn't you? Right now.
Oh, yeah.
Hate to an aggregate.
Yeah,
they've been really good lately, though, haven't they? So
and I'm sure we'll come on to it later. How good they were in that first half an hour. But Ben, we do need to say something because me and you also individually have been nominated for some awards, haven't we?
Yeah, it's the first time ever. No, it's always nice to be nominated. Look, I didn't make the Football Content Awards this year. I didn't really push for it. But it's always nice to be nominated. So it was also nominated at Nappers and Jake. And it was also quite nice to know that nominations came off the back of a live show that Jake actually wasn't on. It was Matt Farley stepping in. So it was always nice that the podcast gets nominated for an award just after a podcast that Jake wasn't on.
See, I know the guy that runs the deck.
Yeah, so... you've had conversations.
You know the guy that runs the deck.
Oh, I do.
Yeah, you know Ryan pretty well. So
good guy.
Yeah, very good guy. Really nice guy. Been really helpful with here for the link over the last year or two. But yeah, I'm sure Nappers, if you remember, put a link in the description and you can vote for us to win what are we up for? Best League One podcast. We're up against the Stevenage Football Club podcast, which is
Got to beat them. We've got to beat them.
We've got to finish above them, haven't we? Really, like in fairness. I mean, it happened twice in the same season. That'd be great. Who else is there? Not the top 20. They're on there, aren't they?
Yeah, that's a very good podcast.
And The Hard Truth, which is
that is some competition, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, if two of those podcasts, well, actually all three of those that we're up against, I listen to on a weekly basis.
Yeah.
So we'll do really well to win. But there's a load of awards for any sort of content creator. I know there's loads of people that we know really well, Ben. They're all nominated as well. So yeah, go and if you want to go and vote for us, we'd be much appreciative, wouldn't we? We're not going to push it too much, but
no,
it'd be nice to be voted for, wouldn't it?
It'd be nice, obviously. As a Fleetwood fan, we don't win much, do we? So it's always nice. Hopefully, we can go along at
1.5 points a game, mate.
Yeah, 1.5 awards a year. Yeah, absolutely.
Bump in the road.
In the right direction.
It's just a bump in the road, Ben.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. Yeah, and also yellow ball season as well. It's always nice to get to win something in yellow ball season. Hello to Richard, evening, Nappers and Jake. No Stacey West podcast tonight, so you have my undivided attention. Appreciate it.
This is way better. Stop.
They are the views of him, not me. Can I just say that? Hello, Parmex. How are you, mate? You okay? Hello, David. You okay? Sorry. How are you, mate? You okay? Oh, sorry.
Remember when I said Burton Albion might have scored all their goals in one game?
Yeah. Do you want to know a start?
They've done nil.
They've not scored 6 of the last 8. They scored 5 and 2 against Stevenage. So they are
and did I get stick from the Burton fans?
You know what I love, right? A lot of the stuff. To be fair, right, we've come out this season with some bonkers opinions, right? I would say a lot of them, 90% of them, are warranted. But I had one on Darren Moore, ended up being right. We had one on Port Vale not being good enough. I think that's ended up being right. I think I said at the start of the year, Steve Bruce was out of his depth and will be gone by the end of the year. That was true. I had one on Brian Lowe. I don't think Ryan Lowe's all that. That turns out to be moving in the right direction. So, yeah, if you could all like the stream, that'd be appreciated. If you could subscribe, because we're closing in on 13,500 subscribers. We're going to get on with the fixture pile, but let's say hello to everyone in the chat. Hello, Sam. Hope you're well. Good to see you. Tell you what, Ben, you should come over for the Burton game on the 22nd of January. I would like to. However, it's a busy month on the road.
No. You didn't do that right.
However, yeah, there you are. You're missing that. There you are. Can't see you, gents. You can't see it. What went wrong there?
Don't worry, that's Commons and Molly. They probably couldn't see if they tried to look straight. The bless them.
Yeah, there. I mean, I
still got that pot on the kettle again.
I know. I mean, eyesight isn't our strong point, is it?
Got one working eye between us, and it's mine.
I've got 4. There we are. Absolutely brilliant times. Posh Carver. Get voting for the bet. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Ben, what's it like to be an imp? Always great to be an imp. 14 injuries for the imps. It is tough. Now, normally, I'll be honest with you, I always like putting Lincoln a bit down in the pecking order. Not because it's Lincoln, because I like building up to it. It's a bit like, Super Sunday. You don't have the main game on at 2 o'clock. It feels weird. You want the best bit to come last, I think, personally. You wait. If the end of the week, blah, blah, blah. Lincoln City 5, Jakey. Peterborough 2. Now, I watched the first half of this and was quite intrigued. Now, for half an hour, Peterborough were, in my opinion, much the better side. They had a goal. They could have had easily 2 or 3. And I think my favourite thing is, and Sue will laugh at this, was I went, well, the sun was in George's eyes first half. And he replies, he goes, oh, for God's sake, you just sound like Sue now. He had a cap on. I went, but he couldn't see. Peterborough were much the better team, and they looked really, really good. They played some really good fantasy football, and that's what Peterborough are at the best. They play some really good, ferocious football, out wide, getting balls into the box. And I tell you what, some of the 1-2 football I thought they were playing was absolutely outstanding. And I even thought they were pinning Lincoln in, and it started from about minute 1, really. Peterborough just started off that first 90 seconds, and normally it's Lincoln who get in teams' faces early on. I was really impressed with Keller, Lisby, Thrice. Leonard looked good in forward areas, and I just thought, could it be one of those bumps in the road for Lincoln? And then the fourth official goes and gets injured, and there's a bit of a stoppage in play. 5 minutes later, Lincoln find themselves, 1-1. The ball's won back in midfield. It's a ball out wide that I thought was way too much. Derigwa puts the ball across and it's finished off, nicely in the end. 1-1, and then you're thinking, then Lincoln had the ascendancy. It was a bit of a 50-50 game after that, after Rico got the goal, who, let's be honest, Jake, has been outstanding, hasn't he, since he came back into the fold at Wycombe away. And has there been many better players than Rico Hackett since Wycombe away for Lincoln? I'd struggle to name a lot of better players that's performed well, goals, assists, key performances in there as well. Can I also just say, however, halfway through, he is the Lincoln fan, by the way, and he will come in a minute. Then Freddie Draper gets a goal as well. He bursts into the box at some speed, by the way.
Defending from your old friend, by the way.
Yeah. But I thought, what I was thinking, by the way? I was thinking, halfway through, I thought, he's playing on Jakey's side. What's that man going to say about me to him? Has he gone up to him? Has he twisted something that I've ever said? Oh, God, that face says it all. Freddie Draper puts it away 2-1, and you're thinking, at that point, get through to half-time. 3-1, Derigwa again. For me, there's no better right back in the division than Tendai Derigwa. I think he's been solid. Last Sorensen went to Huddersfield, and what an upgrade I think Lincoln have got. He's been solid. 3 goals this year for him, 3 against Posh. And then second half, Lincoln see it out. Good win, 5 goals. No, only Cardiff have scored more goals at home. Only Cardiff got more points at home. Lincoln won 5 of the last 7, 17 points collected. Big win for Lincoln, Jake. Are you starting to believe?
I started after we beat Cardiff, Nappers, mate.
You started after the opening day after a win against Reading.
After we beat Reading, I was
after you beat Boston United in a pre-season friendly.
Yeah, well, funny enough you say that. Yeah, I do want to give Peterborough credit, right? Because you mentioned it, and they were very good. They, like you mentioned, Ben, Lincoln like to come out the traps quickly, and we have done since Michael's been in charge. And I thought Peterborough just stopped that very well, and they took the ascendancy really quickly. Admittedly, I think we looked off it. We looked maybe a yard off it. I think you can tell that the lads have played 3 games in 6 days, right? I'm not saying it's an excuse. Everyone's done it in the league. Well, all those that played yesterday certainly have. And they were really good. Lisby is probably the best opposition player that I've seen Lincoln play against this season. He's so direct. And we spoke about how good Tendai is, but Lisby had Tendai for the first 25 minutes on absolute toast. And Brandon Keller was someone that I was massively impressed by. I mean, there's no reason why we went after him in the summer. You can see he's technically very gifted. He had one that he whipped just wide. He set the first goal. He gave the ball to Lisby, didn't he, to set the first goal up for Posh. And at half an hour here, I turned to Flowers and Chris and everyone around me. I thought, oh my God, we're just off it today. It looks like we're going to get beat at home because we often score the first goal in games. But that linesman getting injured genuinely changed the game. It killed Peterborough's momentum. It allowed Scoops to get the lads around the dressing room, the bench, and have a nice chat and change a couple of things tactically. And then we looked on it, and the goal came at a good time, really good from Tendai, the ball across to find Rico. I don't know where Peterborough defending. And then it's that couple of goals before half-time that kill it. And Lincoln have just got that in them. That when they're on top, Ben, this is what Lincoln are very good at. When Lincoln are on top, they score. And that's what set Lincoln apart from a lot of teams in this league. They get in front. And the 2 goals, again, the first one, lovely work from Freddie Draper. And the second one, a lot of credit goes to Rico. It's a great ball for Tendai. They then come and score. And you think at 3-2, you sat at half-time and thought, they're not out of this yet. Because they're a good side. They've got good forward players. Harry Leonard was good. He scored. Lisby was getting the better of him. Thrift as well. And they get the goal and you think, right, now we're in a game. But we've done it for quite a few is that the 3rd time this season now? We've scored directly from kickoff. I know you probably wanted to use
Barnsley.
Johnny and Barnsley. So it's nice to do it against a team that's not from South Yorkshire.
Well, at home as well, isn't it?
But yeah,
do you reckon that's tactical, or do you reckon that's
massively? You look at the way that Lincoln take set pieces every time the ball.
Probably all similar from.
The ball goes back directly to George. And George, he's not the greatest at passing out from the back because he gives me heart palpitations at times. But what
Gives
he's
Sue
really,
operations as well, not just on the football pitch.
no, and what he's really good at is digging his foot underneath the ball and getting backspin on these long kicks. And the defenders think they're going 20 yards further back, and they open space up for our lads that win the ball. And that's where the goal comes from. A lovely ball in from Rico Hackett to Adam Reach, who 3-3 now that he's on absolute fire, isn't he? It's another tap in for him. And then we go and get the fifth goal right at the end to go and kill it off. So, yeah, look, a really good performance. We played really well for an hour. We didn't play well for half an hour. We still won the game. And what makes me believe more than ever now, Ben, is Posh were the form team in the league. Posh were the team in the league. Yes, they've not beaten anyone decent in their run, whatever, but they had confidence, they had momentum, and we just beat them 5-2 at home. So really pleased. And I really thought, I compare it to when Darren Ferguson's interview after the game that we beat them 5-1 in last year, because we beat them 5-1, folks, if you didn't know. And he came out sour grapes. Lincoln don't score 5 goals in a game ever, whatever. Luke Williams, to his absolute credit, gave Lincoln the credit they deserved. And I enjoyed that from a Peterborough United manager. So, look, a good 5-2 win, dominant for an hour. I think if we play like that against a lot of teams, I think we're going to win a lot of games of football. So, very happy, very pleased. It's just what we do now. We beat Posh, don't we? It's just what we do.
If you could all give us a like, there's 68 of you. Please like, please subscribe. We're 187 away from 13.5, and I'd love to hit it. Trying to hit 14k by the end of the season, which is a big goal. So if you could subscribe, it would mean a lot. It's free to do so. Just on Lincoln, that was a big win yesterday. It was only 3 points on the road, and we will come back to other teams in a minute. And yes, there is only 2 points gap between you and Bradford. They have got the game in hand. I think that for me, I'd rather have the 2 points than the game in hand, because it's tiredness this time. You just want to get as many games done as you can, tick them off a list. There will be bumps in the road in this season. Now, I think there will be a period where Lincoln don't win 2 or 3. I think the good thing is this season, I rang Jake yesterday and was congratulating him on his win that we always do. If Lincoln win, I congratulate him. If Fleetwood win, he just says, well done, you beat a pub side. The difference in friendship here. And that's what you did. Well done, you beat Harrogate. Well done.
Well done. Put you on medal.
Yeah. By the way, they've still not won a game since they played, as you know. So they are. I think that the biggest thing is about it is the gap now. There's 9 points between them and Huddersfield and Bolton as well. And people go, yeah, Lincoln will drop 9 points. I think that Lincoln will easily drop 9 points between now and the end of the year. It's going to happen. There's 63 to play for. But I also think that Huddersfield are going to drop. For every 9 points that Lincoln drop, I think Huddersfield and Bolton can easily drop 10, 11, 12. And there's 9 points in between them. And you've got Huddersfield away. You've got Bolton coming to your place. I don't think you should fear any of those. I mean, I'm not being funny. If we're being serious about this now, 90 points to 92 points to top 2, let's say. Let's say 92 points. You're asking Huddersfield Town to go and get 53 out of a possible 21 games. That's not going to happen, in my opinion. Bolton Wanderers aren't going to
drop more than 10 points in half a season, aren't they?
No, exactly, 100%. And there is a big gap now, and Lincoln just need to just keep winning, keep ticking all the points. They're at the stage now, they just want to get to 50 points. As soon as they're over that, they're probably at the stage of last season's point tally. And then they're going back to the season before's points tally. Then it's about a top 6. So it's about little, small, influential little goals of just keep going. And I think they're on the ground. I think that they will need some work, but I think that Bolton are so far off where Lincoln are at. I think Bolton and Huddersfield are dying out for what Lincoln have got. They might have better squads on paper, but I think Lincoln are better tactically. Lincoln know what they are. Lincoln are more settled with what they are.
They're coached. Lincoln are well better coached than most teams in this league.
And also, as well, Lincoln have also got an identity. They've got. If you went through, if I asked you now, Jack, I reckon you could tell me your best 11. Stephen Schumacher doesn't know his best 11. It's January now. And that says everything you need to know. And Lincoln have got no real pressure. They've got pressure now from what they've done, but there's no pressure on Lincoln. If Lincoln finished, a quick question, Jay.
Don't
Before
ask me
we do
if we finish 7th, am I going to be happy? Because I'm
No.
not.
I'm not going to ask you that because that's done. If I offered you 4th place now with 80 points, would you take it?
Yeah.
Would you take it now? Would you?
Yeah, I would. Yeah.
Okay.
Correct.
Interesting.
I would.
Who do you consider your rivals for top 2?
Bolton, definitely.
Not Bradford.
I like Bradford. I really like Bradford.
You're good at home.
Yeah, I away from home, I think you can get at Bradford, right? I know
They've only won 4 away.
I know. Well, we've only won 5, I think, away from home, and we've got Bradford to play at home in a couple of weeks, which will be really interesting. But yeah, I think the thing is, right, the longer the season goes on, Ben, the more confidence I get that we're going to be that 2nd place team. But if you offer me 4th now and a chance in I think we could bully any team up there. I think we could get. I think if we got in the playoffs, I think we could win them. So we'll see how it goes. But we'll see how it goes. If we're there,
mate.
Hey,
you're forgetting the dynamic.
If we're there, we'll lose. So
you know something, right? And this is the last thing I'll say on Lincoln. I would love nothing more to be with you at Wembley and Lincoln City win promotion. Honestly, I would put that because you are my best mate. Being up there with Fleetwood getting promoted. And I genuinely, I mean that with all my heart that I would love nothing more. Wardy and Tom had it a few years ago with Oxford. They Portsmouth had it the easy way with the top 2. They got promoted together. I'm just saying,
Wouldn't you love to be at the game if we come 2nd? Wouldn't you love to be at the game that we come 2nd and we get promoted?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. But who would you love to be in the playoff final if you could do it? Obviously, absolutely. And you, Sue.
Such an afterthought, bless her.
Sue is never an afterthought. It's whether we can get 3 tickets together today. It's whether you're there with us.
Who would I want? Who would I want to play in the playoff final? And
Stevenage.
Well, they're not going to get there, so there's no point worrying about
them.
Dave Nash, let's run it back, mate. Let's run it, Dave Nash. We'll have it on the biggest stage. I know you got a thing at bottling at Wembley. No, I don't know. To be honest, I'm kind of hoping for 2nd spot, mate, at this point. I really am. But
absolutely.
It'd be nice to play Bradford at Wembley.
Yeah, and we'll talk about Bradford now. Blackpool 1, Bradford 2. If you enjoyed that, chat about Lincoln, get subscribed, get liking, and keep your comments coming. And Blackpool 1, Bradford 2. Bradford went ahead in this one. Away at Blackpool, big crowd on from Bradford City. Baldwin's made it 1-0. Bradford have had to kind of change a squad about, as a lot of teams have had. 4th game in 10 days, which is ludicrous, in my opinion. I think that if I was in charge of the schedule, I'd have put a game on Boxing Day, New Year's Day, or if you don't have New Year's Day, go the Boxing Day on the Friday, the Tuesday night game, don't play New Year's Day, then play Saturday. For me, I think that there's too much pressure to play on these bank holidays. Boxing Day I get, but New Year's Day, I'm a bit like, really, do you need a game on for me? I think there's a game too many in this period. Ashley Fletcher's 8th goal since the start of November, and I think his 15th goal of the season in all competitions. Earned Blackpool back into the game. A really nice ball down the side, and it got Blackpool level. Leons with a nice ball down the side across the feet of Bradford, who were playing the high line. Fletcher was in, and good, really good, cool, composed finish. He's found a home at Bloomfield Road as Ashley Fletcher. And then Will Swan, who was a big impact player at the start of the year, does what Will Swan does again and scores. He started the game and he got an impact from starting the game. He scored the winner. Nice finish into Peacock Farrell's near corner. Bradford did have chances. Peacock Farrell made a number of good saves. I think Peacock Farrell, had his critics in the first 2 months of the season. It's been excellent since coming in. Bradford City are back to winning ways after losing back-to-back league games away from home, which is good. Now, I went through. Now, Bradford have lost, I think, 4 games now this season, Bradford. I went back and I'm always a big believer in every team will have 2 tough periods in the season no matter who you are. That might last for 5 games. It might last for 2 games. It might last for 46 games. For some teams, believe me. Bradford, when you lost to Doncaster, their reaction was, They beat Huddersfield and Cardiff, then went on a 7-game unbeaten run. They then lost to Burton at home. They drew with Bolton away. They beat Exeter at home, won at Plymouth, and then beat Reading at home, went 4 unbeaten. They then lost to Orient away just before Christmas, then went back-to-back wins over Wigan and Port Vale. Didn't play well, didn't really get... They weren't glamorous, but they won 5 margin football. 9 men against Wigan. Port Vale came and stamped the gaff out. They won by the odd goal. The Man City loss, they've now early in the year they beat Blackpool, so it's big for them that they bounce back. Another win on the seaside. Bradford stay in touch with Lincoln City.
It's annoyingly a very good win, isn't it, for Bradford? Because Blackpool, you'd imagine it was going to be a much tougher place to go, based on how they've been under Ian Evatt, certainly recently anyway. A very good win for them. I thought, again, they took them. The Bradford wins are all away from home are almost all the same, aren't they? Don't have a lot of the ball, take their moments really well, and create quite a number of chances. And they did that again yesterday. I thought Swan, very good, really nice finish. What a goal it was from Baldwin as well for the first goal. But yeah, a huge win for Bradford. Like you say, with Cardiff and Lincoln both winning, they needed to keep up. They needed to, to make sure that they can use that game in hand as a leverage to try and get back themselves into the top 2. I do just fear with Bradford, Ben. I don't know if you've got this fear for them. I just feel like the depth with Bradford is not quite to the level of a Cardiff, is not quite to a level of Lincoln in terms of the quality that they bring off the bench. Sibley, good player. I'm intrigued to see what he can bring. But they started with Callum Kavanagh, who a lot of their fans have been calling out. Sarcevic, yes, he's playing particularly well at the moment, but is he going to be there next season if they're lining up in the Championship? Not particularly. I don't really think he would be. Tom McIntyre's not played a huge amount of football. Brad Halliday's been kicked out of the team to accompany the sacrifice for Josh Neufeld. So I do worry about the depth for Bradford. They need to have a good window if they're going to sustain their top 2 ambitions. But this is a statement win because, like I say, Blackpool under Ian Evatt have been getting progressively better. I think only Lincoln are the only time to have taken points off them in the last sort of month or so. So this is a really statement win. Ash Fletcher on the score sheet again, fantastic. He's in my fantasy EFL team this week, so much appreciated, Ash. But I still think the sign with Blackpool is right. I think they are still getting better, right? I think that would be because they weren't awful yesterday, Blackpool, in my opinion. I mean, I didn't watch the full 90 minutes, admittedly. But it's just a bump in the road for Blackpool, isn't it, Ben? And there's lots of bumps in the road to come under a new manager, but a statement win for Bradford, who now go into a tough January for them. They play Lincoln, they play Cardiff, they play Huddersfield. If they're still in the conversation come end of January, then I think Graham Alexander and they deserve a huge amount of credit.
Absolutely. Do you want to do your modelling again? Sue wants you to do your modelling.
Oh.
You did it so well last time, didn't you?
I did it so well. Right. So, if you want to know how to like the stream, right,
and also subscribe,
and also we're doing this again. So, open up your YouTube, right? No one text me anything inappropriate while I'm doing this. I'm looking at you, Ashley, from Up the Poshcast. I know what you're like. If you click on
D-Mac will be on at you.
D-Mac will be calling me a G something anyway. So
we're nominated in the same award.
If you get the stream up, it should look like this on your phone. Right, let me skip the ad. I don't want to give nappers any more money. So you need to close the live chat. There's an X button to close the live chat, and then you need to press the thumbs up, which is, you see it, folks? That's where you hit the thumbs up, and then you go. If you want to subscribe to Ben's channel, you need to click Ben's face, which is there. It's a little tiny.
Just pretend like you hit me with a dart.
Oh, God, I wouldn't be able to hit you, mate, with my lazy eye. And then you need to click where it says, I'll unsubscribe quickly. Unsubscribe. There. You need to hit where it says subscribe. And then you want to turn notifications on. So press the subscribe button again and then hit all. And then you'll always be notified whenever Nappers makes a video or We're live on
Live
League One
stream.
Live.
88 of you. So if you could all like, subscribe, that'd be appreciated. Next move on. Plymouth 3, Burton 0. Burton's more injuries. I think it's 13 in total. They are like the walking wounded. Now, for the funny thing yesterday, I was in the gym, got a text. Beasley's now injured. Hartridge is now injured. I'm like, what are they doing to these players? They're going through them like you wouldn't believe. And Burton small squad anyway. They're losing key players and experienced players, and they're better players. And you're thinking, you're for the team. Hartridge, Webster, Geesley. You're thinking that's the spine of the team, and Burton are struggling. And they're like the walking wounded right now. They've lost the last 3 games without scoring, conceded 7 in the time. Brewers have only won 1 in the last 8, lost 5. They failed to score in 6 of those. Scored 5 in one, 2 in another, and they've not scored in the others. We'll talk about Plymouth in a minute, but for Burton, dropped inside the bottom 4 now, Jake. They did a great gesture yesterday by putting on free travel. There was 257 that went down to Plymouth. My first thought was, that's a lot. Where have they got all them from? So I messaged David. I was like, how come the away attendance just got 3 digits? And he told me, great gesture. Obviously, the Burton admin was replying to everyone that was going. It's a long old trek, as it is for everyone, really. Let's be honest about it. But a tough few months of Burton, and you feel it could only get worse, really, can't it? They've got Huddersfield to come in a couple of weeks, maybe a chance to get a couple of bodies back. Lincoln, Bolton, and Cardiff to end the month. It can't get any worse, can it, Jake?
It can. I think if you look at it, they've scored 23 goals this season, right? From players that are injured, 21 of those 23 goals are no longer in the team because they're all injured. So the players that they've got fit have scored 2 goals this season.
Hey.
Exciting. Who are they? Good question. David, if you could tell me who they are. I imagine one must be Lofthouse, right? I bet he's... I'm sure, Jack Armour. Jack Armour. I bet Lofthouse and Jack Armour are the 2. I don't know, but I'm sure David can put it in the comments. I'm sure they've scored this season. But yeah, no, issues for Burton. Like you mentioned with Jake Beasley going out, you lose that focal point. And yeah, it's a real nightmare because when you're away from home against a Plymouth team who have been better, you need that out ball, don't you? And Jake Beasley is so good at holding the ball up and allowing the others to get back into play. And when you lose that before kickoff, you're absolutely devastated. Yeah, Armour and Lofthouse, I got it right. Get him. Come on, Tony. Yeah, to lose they lost Hartridge as well in the game. He went off with it looks like a dislocated cheekbone. That's another one to add to the list. The only positive is that Toby Sibic has come back from the Africa Cup of Nations, but it looks bleak for Burton, doesn't it? Because, I mean, January. I know we're in January, and you'd imagine this time last year they signed 3 or 4 players and completely turned their season around. Have they got the confidence or the ability to sign 3 or 4 players to turn their season around like they did last year? Well, they need to sign 3 or 4 players just to fulfil the squad, the bench next week, by the sounds of it, because they are having to having young lads on the bench. Taroni, Scott, Newell, Krabali, Dudek, Williamson were all kids, and they're playing, and they're in the first team at the moment. You've got so many big players out for Burton. I mean, having Charlie Webster out is a nightmare at the best of times. So, yeah, they'll be hoping that they can spend a bit of money this month if they've got any. But yeah, it is looking quite bleak for Burton Albion at this minute in time. You are wondering where their next point comes from, because you look at they can progress in the FA Cup, great, get some money in, but they're gonna have to spend it on players.
Yeah, 100%. And yeah. The issue is as well, it's not down to quality, because the fully fit squad, Burton had a fully fit squad, I think they'd stay up generally because of the manager that they've got, the togetherness they built. I just think that sometimes in football or in life, things get thrown at you for certain things. And I think it's a sign that it is Burton's time. They're just falling apart, and things are not going well for them. They think they're in a decent position, but they've just got all these injuries. And realistically, I don't know the ascent to how long they've got left, but they should hopefully in the next month or so get players back. But the nature of it, you've got games coming at you quick and fast. Hopefully there'll be a body or two back for in a couple of weeks. But you think, again, other teams are going to strengthen. Can Burton do that? I don't think so. On Argyle, judge me on 15 games, judge me on 25 games. After 15 games, Argyle had won 4, drawn 1, lost 10. 18 goals scored, 28 goals against. That was nearly 2 a game and just over a goal scored per game. Since match week 15, they've won 4, they've won 5, they've drawn 2, they've lost 3. They've taken 17 points, which is 1.7 points a game, which could be enough for a top 6 place at the end of the year over 46 games. They've scored 14, so they're still progressing near enough, maybe just a bit higher than what they were. They scored 5 at Doncaster, that inflates the figure a little bit. The one thing for me is they've stopped conceding a lot of goals. Yes, they conceded goals to Red. I think it was 4-1, wasn't it? And they've had some bad days, don't get me wrong, but they've stopped conceding goals, and now ultimately they're picking up more points. Tom Cleverley's slowly getting his method across. I don't think they're going to be anything glamorous. Yes, it was Burton at home. We've got no fully fit squad, and they should be beating them at home. But that win yesterday, all of a sudden for Plymouth, it just takes them into a place of 16th. They're now 3 points above the drop, but also that they're only 3 points off 10th. Plymouth, over the Christmas period, we mentioned they had favourable fixtures. They probably come out of it with the points they won. Some tough games coming up, but Argyle are moving in the right direction, aren't they?
Yeah, and do you know what it is? I put so much on it to having Connor Hazard back in goal, because when they had Ashby Hammond in goal, you were banking on him to make at least one big error leading to a big chance for the opposition. But having Connor Hazard in goal, who was so good for them in the Championship last season, did really well to come in for Michael Cooper, who they absolutely love and adore down there, and you can see why he was a top keeper. Having Connor Hazard back in the team, he's a very good keeper of this level. He makes big saves, he doesn't make the mistakes, he's very steady, commanding. And I think having Alex Mitchell's now got himself back into form as well. I mean, I'm not surprised whatsoever. He's a very good player for the level. And they've just been consistent at the back, across the back now, rather than chopping and changing. They were playing 3 back, they were playing 4 back, they played 5 back. So in order to, they're now settled on a formation and a system, and I think that's benefiting them, and they're getting their better players in attacking areas as well. And Michi and Mumba are probably the best wide players that they've got at the club. Getting Talai up there with someone to play off him gets the best out of Lauren Talai. So, yeah, much better from Plymouth Argyle over the last sort of 4 weeks or so. Scoring goals, keeping clean sheets. Home Park all of a sudden doesn't look as easy to go to as it did 4 months ago, Ben, did it? So fair play to Tom Cleverley. He's clearly worked wonders to get them into that state. I'm intrigued to see how they go forward now, though, because they came into the season talking about how they got a top 6 budget. Well, they're not a million miles away from the playoffs, right? They're only they're 9 points they're 9 points. Stockport, all the teams in there have got a game in hand bar Huddersfield, right? Could our Plymouth Argyle, if they strengthen sufficiently, there's always one team come out of the pack, Ben. We're talking about it. Is it going to be Mansfield? Is it going to be Reading? Is it going to be Peterborough? Why can't it be Plymouth Argyle? If they stay consistent, if they can keep the ball out of their net and keep feeding Lauren Talai, because I mentioned about Reading, I mentioned about Mansfield, I mentioned about Peterborough. Have they got a striker as good as Lauren Talai?
No,
they haven't. And what do you need? If you're going to come from the pack, you need someone finding the net on a consistent basis. You think of last year, Leighton Orient came out of nowhere. Charlie Kelman was putting the ball in the net. Year before, what was the reason? Who was the reason that Lincoln City nearly finished in the playoffs and came from nowhere? Joe Taylor. So I would keep an eye on Plymouth Argyle.
Yeah, great comments from Charlie there as well. Yeah, they're only 9 points off the playoffs, scored more goals than Bolton, just one short of Stockport as well. They've got goals, just got to keep it tight at the back. January and February will be interesting. If Argyle can get to the next 10 games, if they can maybe get another 17 points, 47 from 35. Look, they'll have to probably average 2 points a game now between now and the end of the year. That's the nature of the beast. If they go and do that, well, if they go and do that over the next 20 games, they'll go and get 60. They'll get, hang on a minute, I'm trying to 40 points, 70 points, won't it? They'll probably need a bit more than that, really. So it is a tough ask for Argyle, but they'll have to go on a super.
You never
run.
know though, because you might not.
No, well,
need.
you're thinking 45, let's say 70, 45 points, mate, from a possible 20 games, 21 games, 63. Do you think Argyle are going to drop less than 18 points this year?
They want to.
I can see it, but it's tough when you put it like, and it sounds so achievable on paper. Like, I'll go back and I'll do me weekly mention of. So when Fleetwood were in the bottom 4 all season, I kept going, well, we're only 8 points away.
Fleetwood on League One Live.
But I'm like, well, 8 points is a lot. Like, we'll get 8 points from the next 6 games. And then the other team go and get 6 or 7 points. So it's a never-ending cycle, and it's so hard to go and get points in this league. It's ridiculous. But I think if Argyle get in the top 12 after the season they've had, that's great. We've got nearly 100 in the chat, by the way, now. So a big welcome to you all. Please give us a like. Please subscribe. That'd be appreciated. I'd say your team are on a hell of a run. Cardiff City at home, Jake. That is 8 straight home wins at their home stadium. Another home win. It wasn't vintage. It wasn't pretty. But this yellow ball season that Cardiff, I thought, would struggle with, they've adapted to. They're playing around it. They're playing some really good stuff. In a lot of games now, they're creating opportunities, but not maybe taking their opportunities. Whereas earlier they were scoring a lot. They're now maybe having chances, they're not scoring. And they should have had more than one yesterday. But the job done is they're not really being affected at the other end, which is good. They're still bombarding, getting the job done. People think that's 1-0. Just about Cardiff should have had 2 or 3 yesterday. Callum Chambers, who the last couple of games, I think was the last game. I can't remember he all merged into one.
At home. The last home game was Stevenage, wasn't it?
The last home game, Callum Chambers in the last couple of weeks has had some attempts where he should have scored. And what was the last away game against on New Year's? I can't remember now. But like Callum Chambers should have scored in these last few games. He's had some great attempts, and he scored an absolute screamer yesterday, and showing he's played at I think FA Cup winner with Arsenal as well. You can see Cardiff now.
They're away at Wycombe.
Wycombe, that's it. 82% of possession yesterday, almost, which is the most since MK Dons 4 win over Gillingham in 2021, where they had 84.4. You can see that they're getting into the stride now. They're understanding the philosophy, and they're still winning games of football. 8 straight home wins is absolutely immense. They're not always vintage. They're not always, the side that you think, oh, they should be winning 3-4-0, but they get the job done often enough. And you think that Stevenage 2-1, Exeter 1-0, it's just about getting the job done. They bounced back from that defeat to Lincoln really well. They went away at Stevenage early in the month. They beat Huddersfield in their classic. So they're getting the job done in different ways. And the good thing is, Jake, now over 50 points after 24. They're on for nearly 100 points. They're going to be in and around 100 points. Plymouth got 101 a few years ago, and they were raved about being the best team to ever grace League One at the time, right? And that was a more competitive League One, don't get me wrong, with Ipswich, Sheffield Wednesday, Portsmouth and Barnsley and co. I get it's a weaker league, but Birmingham get the 111 points last year, and Wrexham having the money they did has maybe highlighted the league that maybe is a bit weaker because they've gone out of it. But another good win for Cardiff yesterday. They were excellent.
Yeah, you've got to take your chance when it comes, don't you? And just because those big teams are out in the league doesn't knock what Cardiff have achieved so far this season. And to be on 51 points from 24 games is phenomenal. It's exactly. I was listening to Simeon Goulam. He had a podcast with Dave Edwards, and they were talking about Cardiff. And Dave Edwards actually drew quite a lot of comparisons to when Wolves got relegated into League One. And they needed a reset, and they needed to blood through some young players, and they started to do that, and then they started to build in the Championship, and they got promoted to the Championship, and eventually they got themselves back in the Premier League because they were building through young players and selling them on for huge amount of money. And you look at this Cardiff team, but there's so many young players that they can probably sell on in the future, right? They can sell Dylan Lawler on. You've got Alex Robertson, who's only young. You've got Ashfield. You've got Isaac Davis, Salek is not old. You got Ruben Colwell, Joel Colwell. These players, Will Fish, they're all young players and they're all assets on their books at the moment. So a lot of comparisons. By all accounts, Cardiff absolutely dominated this game. I spoke to Charlie Keegan I appreciate the text, Charlie, while I was trying to do the like thing on my on the screen. But yeah, I texted him while they were playing, and he basically said, "I'm watching the game right from over in the States, which is what he was." And the camera, he said, has literally been pointing at our goal for the last 20 minutes because Cardiff had them penned in. And they had so many opportunities. And the only reason, and this is the only positive, that Barry, Paul, Caroline, and Charlie on the Progress of Unity podcast took as I listened on my way home was the performance of Sam Tickle, because he made some unbelievable saves. I think there's one in the second half where he's going backwards and he manages to tip it over the bar. Very good young keeper. And that's the only positive for Wigan, because as good as Cardiff were, Wigan were equally as atrocious. I mean, Charlie's put it in the comments, but I listened to what he said on the podcast about how I think the lowest possession they've had since Paul Cook came to power in 2017. The lowest under Colo Torre, and it was like 30%, 26% under Liam Richardson, whatever. 18% for a Ryan Lowe team. It's awful, isn't it? Like, and if Ryan Lowe is coming out after games and saying that he's happy with the way that performance is, saying it was only 1-0, that's got to be a positive. What sort of mindset is this? Is Wigan Athletic, right? Going into a game in League One. They're not, Barry said this, we're not playing Barcelona, we're not playing Real Madrid or Bayern Munich. We're playing a team in our league. Do you know what I mean? He says, we're playing Cardiff. We're playing Cardiff. It's Cardiff.
I know. Then the next team in league, you've got that Jake from League Lincoln. I like Jake. He's a cracking lad, is Jake.
But Wigan had one chance in the game, and it was a half chance through Fraser Murray. That was about it. That was that were about it. Cardiff ran this game start to end. And like you say, they don't need to be flashy. They need to be better than the opposition on the day, and they consistently are. And that's why they're top of the league.
I think one thing I will say, there's a comment. What I mean about Cardiff not being pretty, I mean the results. Like, it doesn't sound. Cardiff won Exeter 0. Cardiff 1-0 away at Stevenage. Cardiff 2-1 against Stevenage at home after going a goal down. Cardiff winning 1-0 against Wigan at home. It doesn't sound pretty. The performances, which I said before, are very, very good. So, that's one thing I will say back to that comment to him, that obviously I didn't mean it to come across as rude or saying that Cardiff
are great side.
Yeah, they're playing really, really good football. And they've surprised me how good they've been for a period of time. The results don't seem pretty, but the performances do. And I think we're not far away from Cardiff winning 3-4-5, on a regular basis. I genuinely believe that. And we pin them in. On Wigan, they're just boring. They just remind me of, they're a typical team that, when you've got a manager, Mark Kennedy at Lincoln, Scott Brown at Fleetwood, they often find a result when they just about need it, right? They beat Burton at home and they were crap for a few weeks. Then they beat Burton away. And you look at the table, let's be honest about it, right? And you think about this Wigan group, not great, they're not bad. They're 15 to 30 points. Oh, they're 3 points off 10th. They win, they'll go to 10th. Wigan are doing well. Oh, they're only 6 points off the playoffs. The issue is the performances don't. The good one thing I'll rectify is, with Cardiff, the performance do rectify the results they have, but not in the manner. Cardiff should be winning these games of football the way they're playing by more. And that's a positive, that they're winning games just, but there's signs they can go and get more, right? There might be a bit of an argument against that. We can go, oh, you might not be able to take your chances, and then you might lose 1-0. But on a regular basis over 46 games, Cardiff playing the way they are will be fine. The issue with Wigan is they're getting a bit of luck now and again, and they're getting a result now and again. But it's not long-term success. They are, I'm telling you this now, they're not far away from a period where they're going to lose 3-4-5 on the bounce because of the way they're playing. And they won't, I don't think they'll go and get battered in these games. I think they'll go and lose 1-0. I keep comparing it to Fleetwood with Scott Brown, where I got annoyed. I remember stood in the stand at Ipswich away. We drew 1-1 in the last minute. I'm like, he's going to get praised again. And I was not enjoying the football. I don't feel there's an identity. I don't feel there's a plan. The substitutions are baffling. And you just feel when he goes to sides above them in the league, they're not great. It's just very, very baffling. And, I asked Charlie for this before, and he was sending me some, information over, which I appreciate, Charlie, by the way. But, The record against sides below them at home, Barnsley at home, they drew. They beat Northampton, they beat Burton, they beat Doncaster, they beat Port Vale. So all those wins have been stat padding against sides that should be beaten. They beat Burton away as well. So they've done the double over Burton. They drew away at Plymouth, which is a good point. They drew away at Rotherham, which is a good point. So all those are wins or points, but Wigan should be picking up. They then beat Peterborough at home. They beat Wimbledon away, which you'd argue, you think, well, Wigan, if they want to progress up the league, they should be getting points there. But then other than that, they've lost to Wycombe, they've lost to Luton, they got hammered at Bolton, they lost home and away against Cardiff, which they've not scored, but probably should have lost 8-0 on aggregate, really. Lost away at Bradford. Then they get an odd draw away against Stockport home and Huddersfield, and you think, Stevenage at home, and you think, it's not bad that they're moving in the right direction. But the performances are a worry. They are so poor. They're so slow. They're so sluggish. There's no creativity. There's no smart. Ryan Lowe's sides are creatively great. And he gets judged on his Bury and his Plymouth early days. When realistically, it's not. It's basically what I put it down to is you get an advertised a McDonald's burger that's on the TV and you go and it's nothing like it. You know, it's a bit like going on a date and the Tinder pictures aren't being like they are on the pictures. Do you know anything about that, Jake?
I understand. If you'd have said you've been left in Starbucks on your own, I might have understood that one a little bit better. But I like your point on Wigan, and I think, how many times have we come on here this season? And bear in mind, we're now into January, we're now into 25, 26, we're into 26 or 20, 25, 26. How many times have Wigan played well for 90 minutes? I can name you twice. Doncaster at home, they won 3-1, 3-0. 3-0, and they beat Northampton 3-1 at home. Oh,
I'm getting a call. Now's not the time.
I think it's the Championship nappers, isn't it? Championship Live trying to poach me off you.
It is. You can have him.
Literally, I think they play well for 30 minutes in one game and atrociously in the other hour, or they play well for 15 minutes in one game and atrociously for 75 minutes. They don't. I listened, and they spoke about. Ironically, they spoke about Lincoln away being the best performance of the season. I thought they were very good on that day, and I was quite. After that, I came on here and said they were the best team we played, and they were very, very good. It's just not been the same since. I'm not sure what it is. I mean, you look at the bench yesterday, Ben. This was another point that they made on the game yesterday. Look at that bench for Wigan, right? One midfielder, one defender. Everyone else is an attacking player. That just shows you how poorly this squad has been put together, and slightly unlucky with injuries and unavailability, admittedly. But it just feels like they went big on Ryan Lowe. They got him in. Everyone was impressed. And then they went into the summer and they went, well, we know you play this football, but we're not quite sure if we want to play this football long term, so we're not really going to back you fully. So what's going on? I think there's a lot of questions off the pitch at Wigan. I know the owners have been great for them over the last couple of years, but I do worry for their short-term future, because at the minute, if Ryan Lowe is happy with that, then Wigan could be in a bottom 4 relegation race before you know it.
Go to about 20 minutes. Bradford were on about then. Agree. I think Wigan won't win the relegation battle. I disagree with that. I think that what I said, they'll constantly get a result every 3 or 4, and they'll constantly average about 1.4 points a game. That's what they'll do. That's what Wigan will get a result, and the pressure will build, and then you'll get to a point of Wigan fans. You don't want to lose, see your football team lose, but you get to a point of you just want to lose so you can cut all eggs because it's not working. It's Ryan Lowe is a stubborn soul, and he had issues with the fans at Preston. You know, I heard it every week on my local station, BBC Radio Lancashire. You had Preston fans calling in, and you could hear the backlash of Ryan Lowe. You know, they weren't happy with him. Absolutely. We'll move on now. Reading 1, Stockport 0, 4 wins in 5 for the Royals, Jake. As many wins in the previous 13 before that. Reading's 3rd home win on the bounce. Been good at home in recent weeks. Reading also beat Stockport, who've had the best away record in the league this year as well, picking up 21 from a possible 36. Stockport, we'll come back to Reading in a minute, just 3 wins in the last 10, picking up 11 points since going top of the league, winning 3-0 at Vale that night. What's gone wrong there? Because he looks so average, he looks so abject. Yes, they've been in the playoffs pretty much all season, and you could argue they've won nearly 50% of the games. But is it a bit like Wigan, where sometimes they're getting the points, but they're not really doing it on a consistent basis? Yes, they are in the playoffs, and we may be judging them harshly on because how good they were last year, but it just feels they're very average and abject, and they'll get a result or two and stay there, then they might not be consistent with it.
Where do you go? What do you talk about with Stockport? Like, I just feel like they've got too many individual good players, and they're trying to shoehorn them all into a team. I feel like last year they were such a functioning team, weren't they? Because they played that 3 at the back shape. This year they're flicking between the 3 and the 4. They're not being consistent with their team selection. They're trying to fit all these players in. I mean, Mothersill yesterday played as the 10. When has Malik Mothersill ever played as a 10 for Peterborough, or even at Chelsea when he was a youngster? They're doing it to accommodate getting Fevrier and Diamond in so they can have as much attacking output as you want. And it's not functional. You know, you've got players in there that would be way better suited to that. Maybe like an Odin Bailey or someone, maybe even someone like a Brecky Anderson you could maybe play there, or even Jack Diamond to go play as a support striker for Carl Wootton. So I feel like Dave Challoner is overthinking it a little bit. I feel like his team selections are very inconsistent at the moment. When a player has a bad week, he outs them in the press. I know he's had a go at Owen Moxon and he's had a go at Owen Dodson. It must be a horrible time to be called Owen and live in the Stockport area. Moxon and Dodson have been called out over the last couple of days. Looks like their future is uncertain. I just feel like he's got that old school about him, hasn't he? If you don't play well, you're out of the team for a couple of weeks, and you don't come in until someone else makes a mistake. So that worries me for Stockport, because when you look at on paper, they've got a very, very good team, like a really, really good side. But again, yesterday, I don't think they were atrocious. It wasn't a great game of football, admittedly. Reading just they took their moment when it came. Lewis Wing just banged it in from 30 yards. But I don't know. I can't quite. I think it's the inconsistency in the team selection isn't allowing Stockport. You know, last year they were like this, weren't they? Consistently winning, just like that. This year, because the team changes, they're very good one week, and then like very good against Doncaster, horrific away at Reading a couple of days later. So confusing, very confusing.
Yeah, big win for Reading though. You know, again, building some consistency going. They're only 4 points off the playoffs now, Jake. It is that consistency now. They're going to have to probably do this again for another month or so. But they were showing signs. Got Leyton Orient away, back-to-back home games with Barnsley and Exeter, Northampton away. Why not? Why can't they go and threaten the playoff places?
They can.
Lee Richardson's done a good job since going in there. They've been hard to beat, haven't they?
Steady. They've been nice and steady. And I think in a really inconsistent league where teams are dropping points all over the place, Liam Richardson's coming in. Again, like I just said, they've been very flatline. Since Liam's come in, I think it'd be fair to say, Reading under Noel Hunt were like this, weren't they? They were very good one week and when they were very good, they were very, very good. And when they were bad, they were atrocious and probably League Two level. What Liam's done is, I think he's got this group believing that they're actually good players. You look at that team that played yesterday.
Quality players.
There's a lot of quality. Like Joel Pereira, one of the best keepers in the league last year. You know my opinions on POC, fantastic player. Finn Burns, great. Lewis Wing and Savage in midfield. When you talk about Reading, you talk about how well those two are as a combination. You've got Kamari Doyle, who I loved at Crawley Town in the back end of last season. Matt Ritchie adds that experience. Kiwara's that new, fresh off the block, bit of energy out wide, someone that's unpredictable. And Marriott, we know Marriott scores goals in this league. You saw it for Fleetwood. We've seen it for Peterborough. We've seen it for a lot of teams. Jack Marriott knows where the net is, right? And I think if you put him in a team that consistently can make opportunities, Jack Marriott will score goals. A bit like another centre forward that we're going to talk about a little bit later for Exeter, who I really like at this minute in time. But I think Liam Richardson's just got them believing again, and they've just been consistent, haven't they? I think no team in the league took more points than Reading over the festive period. I think they got 13 out of 15, didn't they? Same as we did, but a fantastic.
Here we go. I thought, where's he going with it? Because I thought they didn't lose. I thought.
Well, this is what I mean. The Sky Bet did a thing. No one took more points than Reading over the festive period. I was like, no, but someone did take as many points as them. And are also second in the league, but deserve a little bit of credit. But you know what? Reading were great. Reading have been fantastic over the last couple of weeks. They really have been. And I think it's these big players stepping up, isn't it? Paulie now finally looks at home in a Reading shirt. Lewis Wing is just an absolute menace on the edge of the box. Charlie Savage is contributing goals now, and yeah, they look a much more functional side. And if they can put we said this last year, didn't we? If they can put the off-field dramas behind them, because obviously there's all this about Rob Coig wanting to sell the club, or the ex-chief exec is wanting to sue, or something like that.
What do you want to sell it? Just bought it.
Well, no idea. I think it's to make a quick buck, right? Buy low and then improve them and sell a little bit higher. I think Reading, if they have a good January, again, like I said, one team's coming from the pack. Who's it going to be? It could well be Reading. They've got good players in League One.
They do, and they have a good squad. They have a good 11 as well. You think Wing, Savage, and Doyle as a midfield threes up there with one of the best. Richie, Kyra E. Can you help me, Jake, please?
No. Kaiwara.
Yeah. Marriott scores goals at this level, like you said. Burns and O'Connor experience. And then likes of Fraser off the bench as well. Abachaman, there you are. Kamara. They've got a decent team as well. Stockport just look like they've got good players, but good players don't always fit. And like you said, I think Dave's telling us very old school. Never finish outside the playoffs in a full season in management. That goes back to Fylde, Hartlepool, and Stockport as well. So be interesting to see. And he often stays there for a while. It was like us at Fylde. He just lost his way at Fylde a little bit, but I think that was more to do with above him as well. Huddersfield 2, Exeter 2. Exeter carry on with their little bit of weird theme of they seem to get points from sides that you might not really expect Exeter to get points from. Now, Exeter are always branded with a relegation battle, but you look at it now, against sides below them, point at home to Wigan. They've beaten Plymouth, Barnsley, and Blackpool, all at home. But then they've lost to Northampton, Leyton Orient, Rotherham, Doncaster, and Port Vale. 5 sides in currently the bottom 7 of the division. But then against sides just a bit above them, beat Wimbledon home and away, beat Peterborough, beat Wycombe, beat Luton, point against Reading, point against Huddersfield, beat Lincoln away from home, 1-0.
You mention that every week.
Well, maybe because they're the best. Because when you are the best, Jake, and someone gets a win against you, you're going to be mentioned. Burton get a mention. They beat Cardiff every week, right? Because Burton, don't win many games of football, and Cardiff don't lose many games of football. And bear in mind, Cardiff have scored in every single home game, bar against Burton. So I just think that David kidnapped the Cardiff City squad that day and put himself out there to play.
He jokes that he's got his boots ready for this January window. He might.
Yeah, I don't
help them.
I don't think they're that desperate. They're going to come to
the
AU.
Yeah. Walk. It's pretty embarrassing. I wouldn't bother David.
Yeah, I think it's desperate that they're coming for me. But again, Exeter aside, that they always seem to get the points in splurges that you can go and just pick up points. And Exeter are 14th, they're at 30 points. Yes, they're only 3 points above and they can be dragged in. But they're now winning games of football. They've lost 12, but they picked up a draw, which I said for ages for Exeter. If you don't win it, don't lose it and find a way to get a point. They went down in this twice and found a way to get a point. And tell you what, Cole's goal was absolutely unbelievable. Reece Cole, it was the way he struck it first of all, but I think my favourite part was if you go and watch it, it stays in the net and just plods and the net stays silent. And then the goal to bring them, Marcus Harner scored a nice goal before him, by the way, 2 minutes before. And, 2 minutes in front, it doesn't seem like a long time in football, but it is. And, Exeter would have felt harsh at 2 minutes. And then you 1-0 down, and the way you bounce back is unbelievable. And then you can concede again. And Wareham finds a late equaliser. Nice flick. It reminded me of there's a goal that England scored in the Euros once. I think it might have been Sturridge scored a flick once into the corner. But again, a good point for Exeter up to 30. We'll come to Huddersfield in a minute. But you like that word, splurges.
Splurges.
I don't know what it. Something, right? Most weeks Phil's using all these fancy words, and in commentary I'm like, what does that mean, Phil? What does that mean? I'm just a boy without a dictionary. You know what I mean?
Well, we need to get you a thesaurus so that you can start using some extra lexicon that you perhaps didn't know before. I'll tell you one thing that you say I like the word splurge, Ben. The one Well, actually, two things I really like about Exeter at the moment. Number one, Jaden Wareham. Like at the moment,
He's
one of
on
the most
fire, isn't he?
potent centre forwards in the league. He got booted
Can
out
I
of
just
it.
say,
Go on.
I'm going to give you credit. You pulled that out as a good signing.
That's what I do, mate. This is what I do.
Yeah.
What I do. It's what I do. Guesswork. You say enough players are going to be good signings, you get one right. Do you know what I mean?
I said 500 signings were going to be good signings. My top 10 are insane.
I think he took the number 9 shirt. A lot of pressure on him this season, right? Because that's a retired shirt from Adam Stansfield. And yeah, look, he's a fantastic player. He's just very capable around the box. I remember watching them away at Bradford, and he played really well that day. They lost, but he was a real handful for the Bradford defenders. And I like that look that he's got, tucked in shirt. He runs hard. He can finish. And that goal yesterday was fantastic. And the other man that I want to point out, you mentioned Reece Cole's lovely goal, right? But can we have a chat about Niskanen? Because recently, I think in his last 8 games, he's got 7 goal contributions, 1 goal, and 6 assists in his last 8 games.
He's busy, isn't he? He's so busy.
He's so industrious at the,
I like that word.
Yeah, do you know what? And tenacious. He's so tenacious on that right hand side.
All right, that's my word, mate.
But he gets up and down, and recently
he gets up and down so well. He wins that ball back so well.
He's been adding end quality the last couple of years. That's been his main issue. Like no one ever doubts his work rate because he gets up and down. But by the time he comes off at minute 90, you wonder how the blokes run that far, right? You wonder what they're eating in Finland to allow them to run that much. But like he's now added end quality onto it, and he's now playing really lovely passes into the penalty area and crosses, and he's found the net as well. So he's turned into a real key player for it's pot kettle black, David. That all the tweets that you did about good signings in the summer. By the way, hashtag want to grow my following, David. Come for me,
Mr. 200 followers.
Yeah, come for me. But he's done really well, Niskanen, and there's no surprise that those two attacking players playing better over the last couple of weeks has seen a real uptick in form on Exeter. Huddersfield, Ben, did you see how angry Lee Grant was in his post-match press conference? Did you see it? Did you look at that? Did you watch that video and go, "That's an angry man"? Because I didn't. He looked very calm to me. He didn't look angry at all.
I watched about a minute of it, and yeah, that's him all over. And for me, Huddersfield are the definition of. I think there's 7 unbeaten Huddersfield. Bear in mind, and so, but it's like I don't know what to come. The 7 unbeaten, but it don't feel like the 7 unbeaten, and that's always a worry. It'd be like Liverpool. Liverpool are 8 unbeaten. Don't feel like it, does it? Because they're not glorious. And I think to be unbeaten, you've got to win more than you draw, first of all, or equal over. You can only equal if it's like 16 and you've won 8, you've drawn 8. I don't mind that because then you've been. But for me, Huddersfield drop points in the most ridiculous of places. Now, they're at 39 points. Don't get me wrong, they've been better. They've won 3, they've drawn 3 over the last 6. If we're going to be tenacious over that, I couldn't think of a word, so I'll just use my favourite. A point where Lincoln's a good one. A point home to Exeter isn't. Right? No disrespect to Exeter.
But that point at Lincoln now is bad because they've not backed it up. When you said about us at Blackpool, you said if you get that point at Blackpool and then you beat Cardiff, that's a good point at Blackpool.
100%.
Huddersfield are like that all over. They get good points on the road, or they get a good performance. And the next game, they're horrific.
Yeah, well, point away at Northampton's not bad, but they back up with a point at home against Wigan. The Wimbledon game, they went 3 times, I think, in that game. Oh no, I think they went 1-2. I think they went 2-1 down, did they, at one point? I think. But anyway, they went ahead at least twice in that game, and you don't win it, and that's it with Huddersfield. They don't. Stockport, Bolton, and Huddersfield are in the playoffs, but it doesn't feel like they are a playoff team. The only 3 teams that deserve to be where they are is Cardiff, right? Lincoln, Bradford, in a good way, right? The rest, the gap is crazy. Like, how I would describe it is, at this moment I'm in darts, the gap between Luke Littler, then a big gap, Luke Humphreys, Gian Van Veen, Michael Van Gerwen, par. Then the gap between them and the next lot, so big, you wouldn't believe. And that's what it feels like in League One right now. don't see it. I'm still waiting for Huddersfield to go win 3 or 4 and make a statement. Stockport away, what a chance to go and make a statement. Burton away, Bradford, Luton, but they'll probably go and win 2. They'll draw 1, they'll lose 1, and they'll be still in the same position.
Yeah, no, I agree, and it looks like they're set to lose Leo Castledine, who's scored, I think, in 8 of their last 10 games now. What a huge
pound of hers, potentially.
Well, potentially. I had a chat with a Pompey fan earlier, and it doesn't sound
Tom.
That's true. It wasn't Tom, actually. It was somebody else.
He doesn't reply to messages, does he?
No.
Too big for us in the Championship.
Just
for now,
I see it in your future. I'm just saying.
He's going to replace you next year, mate.
Well, it'd be a huge upgrade if you got little Tom on it. Trust me. Yeah, I think with Huddersfield, they're about to lose Leo Castledine, who's been a big part of what they've tried to do. I don't know about Huddersfield. Like, they've been really poor, and they're 4th in the league, and they're all calling for Lee Grant to get out, right? But I think I say this, are they? I think they're the best of the average teams in this league. I think the 3 that are above them are good sides, and I think the rest of them are all, certainly 4th down to 19th, 20th. Are all very average teams, and the ones 21st and below are all very poor teams. I just think Huddersfield, they don't get going, do they? You know what I mean? They've been on an unbeaten run, and they've come from outside the playoffs, and they've not burst into the automatic draw. They're very inconsistent. They won 3 on a row, but then they've now not won in 2. So. Yeah, it's difficult for Huddersfield. You imagine they're going to throw a boatload of money at it in January because they have the facilities to do that. So we'll see with them. But with Lee Grant in charge, you don't have full faith in them that they're going to do it. They're going to do it.
Yeah, we'll move on. Last game quickly on this one. More frustrations for Bolton Wanderers, who yet again.
No, that's not the last game either. There's another game you've missed.
Is there?
Yeah, Wycombe played Wimbledon and won 2-0.
We'll go for Wycombe then first. Wycombe 2, Wimbledon 0. I've made the balls up. It wouldn't be a League One live without it. I apologise. I'll change the running order.
In fairness, you didn't mute yourself at the start, so we had to have one in there somewhere, didn't we? I mean,
I'm getting better at that.
Yeah, absolutely. Of course you are, mate. But yeah, this was a routine win for Wycombe. I thought, get the goal nice and early. Junior Katerna, I know he's one of your mates and one of my biggest nightmares on the right-hand side. They played him as a wing-back yesterday.
Yeah.
I've had a word with him. I had a word with him a couple of times, talking about you mainly and how much you loved him. But yeah, this is much more like Michael Duff ball, solid, comfortable. Thought they were good. Wimbledon, I thought, were okay. They had a big chance at 1-0 that they didn't take. Big positive for Wimbledon, the young lad that came on. I'm going to try and pronounce his name now. Junior Nkeng. Thought he was very good, very direct. Really did run, did really cause issues for Wycombe. But yeah, a solid performance for Wycombe that puts them now within touching distance of the playoffs again. Which, given how poor they were at the start of the season, it is quite surprising. But a solid, comfortable 2-0 win for them. Yeah,
and that win for Wimbledon is massive because then you're talking there'd be 11 without a win. They didn't win that last time out, and then all of a sudden you're thinking Wimbledon are looking over the shoulder, and the importance of that win, the 13th, they're just above the relegation zone. They're probably 19th in the league, aren't they? So it's a big win for them the game week before. But for Wycombe, they only won 2 of the last 8, but they only lost 2 of the last 8. They've drawn a lot. They've been very higgly-piggly, I think I'm going to use for Wycombe in a bit. Look, underdog 28 points from 17 games is not that bad. 7 wins, 7 draws. You need to slowly turn into those draws into wins. Fine margin football duck plays. Not pretty, but it's effective most of the time. They are slowly getting better. Big win for them. It just about keeps them alive. For Wimbledon, there'll be harder days in this league away, but just need to make sure they get to 50 points. And more so, not just get 50 points, be safe. Last but not least this time, Bolton 0, Northampton 0, Jay. More frustrations with Bolton. Stephen Schumacher still doesn't know his best side. And we're in January now. 24 games in, they've only scored 31. They've only won 2 of the last 6. It feels that Bolton aren't really getting ahead of steam. And if we go back to October, they beat Cardiff. I think they had 1 shot on target. They beat Huddersfield, late drama. They beat Peterborough 2-1, but that involved drama. It felt as well that they just about got over the line. It felt like you have hot operations watching Bolton. The Luton game was a bit of a mad game. They were sending off 1-1. They hammered Port Vale, but for 20 minutes they were awful. Drew 0-0 to Bradford. They beat Rotherham just. They beat Exeter by the odd goal. They beat Mansfield by the odd goal. I'm feeling we're not getting a full package from Bolton. I feel they're just doing what they should do. And the squad feels like, they're there because the Bolton Wanderers, and take Bolton away and you think of, where do they go in this group? They're not scoring goals. They're better defensively than they were last year, to put it that way. But they're on the same amount of points as Huddersfield. If they win that game and it's different, but it just feels for Bolton, they're just very meh. We'll come to Northampton, because a great point for Northampton on the road, by the way. Full credit for them.
17 shots for Bolton yesterday.
Yeah, none on target.
Bolton, that is such a Bolton under Ian Evatt performance, except I think under Ian Evatt they probably put more on target, but dominated the game in almost every facet.
Do you think it's a disease at Bolton? Do you think it's whatever the manager?
I just think it's the expectation, isn't it? I think that group of players are expected to play in a certain way because they're Bolton Wanderers in League One, and they're coming up against teams like Northampton and Exeter and Burton and even before Crawleys and Shrewsbury's and and Fleetwoods and teams like that, and Morecambe's, right, and Accrington's. Like, you're expected to take the onus of the game and dominate it in the way that Bolton do, and in credit to them over the last couple of years, they have done that, and they've been very successful at doing that. But sometimes it's just not going to go your way, and yesterday was a massive tale of that, because for as many shots as they had, they put them wide or they were blocked very well by Northampton, by the way. They tested them from set pieces, but they still couldn't get anything on target, and that does concern me. They are making chances, but I do feel like they need to improve that in that area where the 3 behind the striker, right? Cozy Dewberry starts; he's been outstanding this season. But you look at alternatives in that number 10 and out left position, Ben, and none of them have really lit it up. Joel Randall, Kyle Dempsey, Ibrahima Sissoko. They've had Thierry Gale, who's been very hit and miss since coming in. Even looking at up front, Sam Dolby's not scored the goals that I imagine Bolton fans would have expected him to have scored this season as well. So I do think that in January, Bolton do need to address that. They do need to try and find some guaranteed quality from those wide positions. And if they do, then maybe we can talk about a Bolton team that goes and wins five in a row. Because I think the concept is, if they play like this, on another day, they probably have more shots on target and they probably win the game, right? But the reason they didn't is you have to give a lot of credit to Northampton and their resoluteness under Kevin Nolan, because they have been getting better at that, at not shipping goals. They have been throwing themselves in front of things, and Ross Fitzsimmons in goal has been playing out of his skin, and he did again yesterday. And let's not forget, Ben, in this game, like, Northampton could have nicked it. Like, they hit the bar. Terry Taylor hit the bar. They had a couple of chances. Jack Vale had a very good game for them up front as well. So, yeah, credit to Cobblers, but Bolton, they'll be scratching their heads as to why they haven't even had a shot on target.
Typical Bolton, and they're going into a period of slippy fixtures. Peterborough away, Wigan away, Stevenage away. The next 3 are away. Then they've got Leyton Orient, Burton and Wimbledon away. 4 of the next 6 are away. But Bolton, I just want to go on a run of 3 or 4 games, and we're not seeing it. We're not seeing this electrifying Bolton. And if you stop the wingers, you stop Bolton, I almost think, at times. And you feel that they haven't got that ounce. And I've said it for ages. You haven't got that ounce about them. They've got good players, technically good players. But I said in October, somewhere on one of the pods, they'll struggle with yellow ball season. And they are struggling, I think, at times, that they're not scoring, they're scrapping. In the Mansfield game, I thought, well, here we go. So but they don't back it up. They don't do it on a consistent basis. They do it now and again. And that's because they're good. And yeah, worried for them. But Northampton, good point on the road. They've had a tough Christmas period, a lot of away games, a lot of miles travelled. They needed a point. They got a point. It's about winning games of football now for Northampton, because Huddersfield and Bolton away back-to-back is tough on the road, put it that way. Wycombe at home, Blackpool away, Rotherham away, Reading at home. If they can get 4 or 5 points from those, move in the right direction, that'd be great. There we are. We'll move on to predictions, but if you keep your likes, keep your subscribers coming. We're now 180 away from 18,500 subscribers. If you could subscribe, that'd be appreciated. 180 away. Go on now.
Right, Ben. Predictions.
Right.
This week you got 2 correct scores with 8 points. I got 1 correct score with I got 6 points. Do you know what games you predicted correctly?
Did I predict Bradford?
Yep.
Told you, and you said eat them on purpose. And I'll go. I didn't get Lincoln. Didn't get Plymouth. Wycombe.
Sure? No, you didn't get the Plymouth score. You got the Plymouth score.
Did I? I did. Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I got the Wycombe score.
Oh, so I would have gone for 2-0. Yeah.
So yeah, that means after this game week, you are on 160, while I am on 169.
I'll close the gap then.
Yeah, by 2 points. So fair play. Right,
the punishment is the loser can't go to the playoff final.
So we've got I'll ask you a question now. Will there be a show on the weekend? Given
it depends on the game week.
Okay, so at the minute
I
have
good game week. We'll do 1,
3, 4, 5 games being played.
We'll leave it.
So what we need to do then is predict this week and then next week.
Okay,
as well.
That's fine.
The Saturday the 17th of Jan, because there won't be a show before that. So Ben, come to you. Local derby on Saturday afternoon, 12:30 kickoff at Kenny Road, Luton Town, taking on Stevenage.
Luton 2, Stevenage 1.
Close. I'm going to go Luton 2, Stevenage 0. Stockport versus Huddersfield is the other other early kickoff. I hope you're well, Jack. I know you had your first day at your new job today.
Good luck, mate.
Well, good. He's already had it now. So no point wishing a good luck at 9:30 at night, is there?
Good luck with your new job, whatever.
He got into a bit of an accident on the way to work, so I hope you're okay, mate. I hope things are all right. Stockport Huddersfield. I'm going. Stockport 1, Huddersfield 1. I think this.
Stockport 2, Huddersfield 1.
Bradford versus Rotherham. Ben, this is a game that I might go to this if it's still on.
Bradford 2, Rotherham 0. This Saturday?
Yeah.
Oh.
Do you fancy it?
Might have a look. Of course,
we'll have a look. Bradford. I think Sue might be going to Peterborough, Bolton to go and see Ethan. I don't know if she said that or not. Bradford. What did you go for? 2-1 or 2-0? Bradford 1, Rotherham 0. They love winning 1-0 at home, don't they, Bradford? Ben, Leyton Orient versus Cardiff. Cardiff's game in hand at the top.
Leyton Orient 1, Cardiff 3.
Yeah, I don't know what to do. Parmex, if Lincoln were playing Exeter, what would you say? I'm gonna go. Yeah, Leyton Orient,
go.
Leyton Orient 2, Cardiff City 4.
Wow,
I love a big game. And Ben, me first. Sorry, for Peterborough versus Bolton, I'm gonna go Peterborough United 2, Bolton Wanderers 1.
Yeah, exactly what I wanted. You absolute 2-0 Peterborough.
Yeah, I think you got to go with the form book on that one. Right, Ben. Moving into the weekend after then. So this is a week on Saturday.
He's trained, you see.
Okay. Early kickoff. Big game. Bradford hosting Cardiff.
Bradford 1, Cardiff 1. I've changed that. I was going to go 2-1 Bradford, you know.
You are such a little swine. Bradford beat them earlier in the season, didn't they? I think Cardiff go there and Bradford City 1, Cardiff City 2. I think Cardiff go there and get a statement win. Wigan versus Bolton. Oh, that's interesting. Can both teams lose a game from home, given Wigan are rubbish and Bolton are crap away from home? Wigan 1, Bolton 1.
Wigan 2, Bolton 1. They're going to win. He'll win now and again.
Ben, Wimbledon versus Doncaster.
2-1 Wimbledon.
Yeah, I thought that. I'll go 2-0 Wimbledon then. Barnsley versus Blackpool. Blackpool have got a good record at Oakwell, I'm pretty sure. So I'm going to go Barnsley 1, Blackpool 2.
Barnsley 2, Blackpool 0. New year, new me, mate. New year, new me.
Burton Albion versus Huddersfield Town, Ben.
Burton 0, Huddersfield 3.
I'm going to go Burton 0, Huddersfield 2. Exeter versus Stevenage. I'm going Exeter 2, Stevenage 0.
Exeter 1, Stevenage 0.
Leyton Orient versus Reading, Ben.
Leyton Orient 2, Reading 1.
Orient 1, Reading 1. Luton versus Lincoln City at the Kenny Road. Sold out away end, by the way.
Is it?
Sold out away end.
You've sold out an away end past Peterborough.
Yeah.
Wow.
Luton Town 1, Lincoln City 1.
That's what I wanted. Now, these are the types of games over the years that Lincoln battle hard, work hard, lose 2-1. Luton 0, Lincoln 1. The year of the imp. I'm here for it.
Come on, those in.
Oh my god. Oh yeah, we just casually beat the side in the Premier League 18 months ago. you know, it's what we do, man.
Could you? That's exactly what I'd say, by the way.
Yeah, I know you too well. And then I'd go, oh, we beat Colchester. Well done, mate. No, we beat Cambridge. Well done, mate. You beat the League 2 side. I'll go, they win League 1 last year. We're basically the League 1 side. The difference is we're not going to beat Cambridge. We'll lose 1-0.
Mansfield versus Port Vale. So we play Port Vale then.
Yeah, obviously. John has been announced yet, John Brady?
No, it's very close, isn't it?
Yeah. Obviously, first game at home against Fleetwood. Is it at home this or is it at Mansfield?
It's at Stag. That's Stag.
Mansfield 2, Vale 1.
Yeah. Yeah. Stags 3, Vale 1. Northampton versus Wycombe. I'm a big Cobblers fan. I'm going to go Cobblers 2, Wycombe 1.
Oh, Northampton 2, Wycombe 0.
Posh Plymouth, Ben.
That was Duff's first game, that, wasn't it? I don't know.
Could have been.
Posh Plymouth.
That's right. You're going to get
3-1 Peterborough.
Posh 1, Plymouth Argyle 1.
Title charge. They're going on a promotion charge. They're going to go draw the next game. Drop points.
And then finally, Stockport versus Rotherham. I'm going to go Stockport County 2, Rotherham United 0.
Stockport 3, Rotherham United 1.
So obviously we'll do a show on Sunday the 18th of Jan. So
that's if you've not been promoted by then.
Yeah, potentially. We don't need to do because Stevenage are playing on that 20th, and we play on the 22nd, obviously, against Burton. So yeah, there you are. There's predictions.
Oh my God, there's a chance you could be top of the league in January.
We've already been top of the league.
Yeah, but in January, mate. To be top of the league in October don't count.
Well, yeah, but Cardiff would have to capitulate, right? And then we would have to win our game.
No, Cardiff win, right? Their games, right? Oh yeah, they got the game in hand, wouldn't they? Forget that. I forgot about the game in hand. You win 4-0 or something.
Basically, we need.
Just imagine, Matt. What would you do if you lost 1-0 again at home to Burton?
God, the Humber Bridge isn't too far away, is it?
Who can I ask you? Who's worse to lose to, me or David? I don't think I'm that bad, personally.
No, I don't think you are. I mean, admittedly, don't know. You don't bring up the fact that you beat us half as much as he does. So all he talks about.
Because nobody beat us.
In fairness, like, to be fair, like sometimes I think it's just us doing charity work because they don't beat many teams, do they? Burton Albion. So we've got,
to be fair, right? I'll be honest with you. Obviously, over the Christmas period, it's always tough because I ran into this lad and he battered, bruised, and I went, "You all right, mate?" And he went, "No, not really." I went, "Why?" He goes, "I don't want to live with my mum anymore." I went, "Why?" "She beats me." I went, "All right. What about your dad?" "No, he beats me." "Grandma, granddad, do they beat me?" "Well, who do you want to live with?" He went, "Burton, because they don't beat anyone."
I know what the message I'm going to get. It's going to be rent free.
Not Fleetwood in League Two. We don't. David, we also don't beat anyone. Bar Burton 3-0 on the last day of the
Maybe
season.
I'm the parent. Maybe I'm the parent just beating everyone.
Yeah. But no, it's cold day, isn't it, out there? It's freezing out there. And Jake went to work in minus, what was it, 5 this year? This morning?
Morning.
Almost Sheffield Wednesday, wasn't it?
See you next year, folks.
Yeah, it'd be good to have him back, won't it?
It's an hour and a half show on 1, 2,
8 games.
3, 4, 8 games.
You know what I love? We're going to get Wednesday Portsmouth Oxford back. It feels like so much like 22, 23, doesn't it?
We're not going to be here, so I'm not bothered.
Or 23, 24, you could even say as well.
I like that season. That was good.
Yeah. What did you finish that year?
7th. Where did you finish that year?
What?
Where did you finish?
Doesn't matter about where you finish. It matters where you end up. And we went to some magical places. I look at it. Look,
did you win at Portman Road? Did you?
On a League 2 holiday. No more Bolton for a year or two. That's what I sang until we got Bolton 3 months later in the Virtue Cup.
Would you rather go to Bolton or would you rather go? Oh, it's a Tin Pot ground in the northwest. It's not Fleetwood. Oh,
Harrogate? No, that's not.
Accrington. Would you rather go? Yeah, would you rather go to Accrington?
Yeah, I like the pubs in Accrington. It's great. Love my trips there.
Yeah, what's it called? The Crown. Is it the Crown outside the ground? Lovely pub.
Yeah, great. Well, there we are. Now in our show. Hope you all enjoyed it. David, I was only joking, so please, make sure we're still friends. Please give us a like. Please subscribe. I hope you enjoyed tonight. Big thanks to Jake, as always, pal.
Thank you. Please do make sure to go and vote for us for that deck award. We know we're up against some stiff competition, but we would like to finish third above. We've got a corner, Mr. Matt Farley. We would love to finish above Matt Farley, but yeah, please do come and vote for us. That'll be appreciated.
Thank you so much. Thanks for watching. Please like, please subscribe. Go and give Jake Twitter a little bit of a plug as well. Jake_Tong98 and here for the Lincoln podcast. I've been Nippers. Thanks for watching. Until next time, I will see you later. We'll be back very, very shortly. Plenty of League One content to come over the next few months or so. It's going to be a roller coaster. Fishy, fishy.
Have I got to sing us out now? Have I? Yeah.
What'll be your darts walk-on song, Jake? And you can't have one that's already taken.
Oh,
Red light spells danger. Not allowed that. So I'd go Dignity by Deacon Blue.
Do you know what? I would have done That's the Way I Like It, but that Asian fella had it, didn't he, at the Worlds? What's his name?
Tinzinaki. Oh.
We're all going on a
I can't pronounce it.
Holiday. No more Bolton for a year or two. Have that, Dave Nash. Come on.